Tesla has announced some modest price increases on the Model Y, but does that mean it's all great news, all bad news? Well, the stock market seems to like it. Let's dive into that a little bit. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. I'm joined by my good buddy Herbert over here, who is making me brighter as he does, and I appreciate that. I'm on the road this week. I have been down to Fremont last night. I had a chance to tour the
Wow.
factory, get some new insights. No cameras allowed, everything's on background, but I did have an opportunity to talk with some manufacturing engineers who I'd brought with me for the journey. So it was a lot of fun, and some new insights have come from that. So this week, Herbert, we saw price increase April 1st for the Model Y. And then shortly after, we saw they're going to be increasing the price on the Model Y by $1,000 as well in China. The stock has gone up. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's on the strength of these incredibly favorable version 12 demos that we've seen for FSD beta. Do you think the stock market cares that much about these little price increases?
I do not. No, I don't. I mean, I obviously we heard a couple of the institutional analysts, specifically Gary Black, say that the reason he thinks that the stock jumped that day was because of the price increase. People like him and other institutional analysts, they'll take these price increases and then they'll like carry it forward for in perpetuity, and they go, "Oh, that's a new price," and therefore this is how many earnings per share that's going to drop on top of this. And I think instead of that, I think the reason is jump. I mean, there's so many reasons, right? But it is more likely because of FSD. People are starting to realize that this is this path 12.3 is really the path to get us there. That could also be not true, right? We really don't know. But the other, back to Gary's point, is that they think that a price increase represents that there's no more price decreases. And that's
Oh,
why they feel more comfortable that the margins will stabilize and, in fact, recover for the rest of the year. But you and I know, and we've done many shows on this, and Tesla has said this already. Tesla changes price on a daily basis. They will see the price because they don't sell through dealers. It's much more evident to us. We can see what they put in a configurator on the website, but it's basically daily, and you can't read too much on this. This could be just this week, and then they'll change it again, and we'll see them going up and down based on if they've got extra inventory. 17 days of inventory is already industry leading. The average inventory right now for all cars is 76 days. And here's Tesla at just 17 days. So, but if even if it just goes up by a week or so, they'll raise the price, they'll lower the price. I don't read too much into all of this at all. I mean, we just see this. What's your take on it?
well, I'd seen a very comical misunderstanding headline maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago, where some, we'll say analyst to be charitable, was saying that Tesla's got a real problem because I don't know if you know, but their days of inventory swelled by 30% on the last
Yeah.
earnings report. And it's well, 30%, they're still the lowest in the industry. We don't want them to be at 3 days of inventory. That's not
Yeah.
healthy. They need to get 17 is still, in my
That's
opinion,
exactly right.
maybe a little low. And
Mhm.
then I saw a very funny headline last night that said in 2023, Tesla Model Y was the most produced vehicle.
Mhm.
Can't say best selling, huh? Because it was. If it was the most produced with only 17 days of inventory, it's the best selling, you guys. Other companies may have come close to the production number while they're stuffing the channel and getting back to their to levels of inventory they consider reasonable. And if you're looking at someone like Kia, who is shipping, in a lot of cases, a lot of their vehicles are shipped halfway around the world before they're sold because they don't necessarily have all their models in all their markets where they're popular. You need more than 17 days. It takes more than 17 days to ship a product from the door
Mhm.
to the customer. So yeah, there's it's just a bit silly. Now I like
Remember
the
that?
theory that this could signal an end to price drops, and we know cost of goods sold is always improving. So if the price just holds steady, the margin will improve because we're always getting better pricing on the parts.
Yeah, but like I say, we'll have price decreases. You and I did a show which was incredible. I love that show where we talked about all the different ways that Tesla has as a lever to try to either increase sales for this week or try to boost up, try to get more sales of some product they want to sell. And and even China, right? They've been doing all sorts of different kinds of things beyond referral credits and little perks here and there. So it's just if $1,000, it's a lot, but it's also kind of like right in that realm of, you know, give me 20 t-shirts.
Right.
you know,
Right.
Not quite,
But
but yeah.
I mean, give me 20 t-shirts, I'll take them. I did have a very funny comment that came in yesterday on YouTube that said, I just bought my second Mustang Mach E and the
Mhm.
dealership was having a promotion going. So because I bought it on the day that I did, they gave me a $500 gas card
Yeah.
for his
See?
Mach E.
Yeah. These are little spiffs that are not that big of a deal. But again, it's like if we as investors go, look, this is great, $1,000 up, then you must react the same way when they go $1,000 down. And I
Right.
don't, and you don't. Like we
Right.
know that these are just fluctuations because Tesla, you can't read too much into it. And obviously your audience knows this very well that traditional automakers sell through dealers. You don't know it, but dealers on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, they basically raise or lower it, right? Dealer incentives or dealer markups. Nobody here tracks all that, right? I mean, sometimes it's crazy that they'll mark it up by $50,000. We've seen that.
And that is the truth. People who
It's like
are
what?
looking at saying, well, Tesla's depreciated the most of any car in the last 2 years are not using honest metrics because they're comparing the MSRP from all those vehicles, ignoring the fact that only Tesla was selling at MSRP while all the other guys were selling vastly higher. I said that a while back and got some pushback in the comments from a guy saying, well, I bought a car 2 years ago and I didn't pay a dealer markup.
Hmm.
That's unusual. And I know because Bear from Bear's Workshop was assembling his Turo fleet at the time, 50,
Yeah.
60 vehicles, and he was traveling the country to find someone, anyone who would sell him a car at full price. And he just couldn't find it. He'd find some who'd go a couple thousand over and he'd say, fine, good enough, I'll take it. But it was just absolutely killing him. It was just killing him. Now, what about this for a theory? Because you said we don't engage in crazy theories. I'd like to engage in a crazy theory.
Please.
What if, because there's a rumor of a product announcement, what if that $1,000 increase is in advance of a Juniper Light? That we've already seen them do it in China because they want parts in common. Maybe the Model Y is going to get just a little bit, a light refresh on the inside, add the new dash, the new lighting, maybe the new infotainment, maybe new seats, just a light refresh so that there's parts commonality with the Model 3 and that this price increase is to make up for that because there will be more demand in advance of it happening. And then all these cars that they've made before that would be inventory cars, which they could mark down by 1,000 without adjusting the MSRP. Is that too crazy?
Well, no, it's the opposite of crazy. If anything, that theory is not conspiracy. That theory is probably the most likely. Makes sense. You know that Tesla already every single week, again, every single month, they keep improving the cars. They just change parts on the fly. We've talked to people that are inside the factories, and they talk about how they can just change a part, upgrade a feature as soon as they can, whenever they can. And this is the one that makes the most sense. Maybe there is a few parts here and there that's already been improved because of price or parts parity with the Model 3 refreshed car. And that might make sense. Yeah.
Yes. And when you're talking about these little changes, this is something I learned in my factory tour yesterday was that
Mm,
I asked the guide because we were zipping all over the factory, but we only saw a little bit of Model 3, a little bit of Model Y, and then we spent most of our time on the S and X line. And I said, so there's one line that does the whole S and X. And I'm trying to play dumb. That's the way you get the best information. He said, yes, just the one line that runs both S and X interchangeably all day. And I said, and the Model 3, there's got to be more than, he said, yeah, there's two lines for the Model 3. I said, how many lines for the Model Y? And he said, one. Well, clearly not. I mean, it's the highest volume vehicle. He goes, it's not a line, it's more of a loop. It's more of a circle that just kind of keeps going. I go, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean? He said, well, because if we're changing a part, we can divert. And I go, so like it's a river where the stream can get wider where it slows
Mhm.
down? He goes, no, it's not that. I go, is it an octopus? He goes, it's not an octopus. I go, what on earth is it? He said, it's a loop. It's a big loop that can handle infinite changes and infinite numbers. And I'm like, it sounds like a Jeremy Bearimy. For those who know what that is, it's very difficult to understand. But basically,
Mhm.
a system that allows infinite flexibility. You
Mhm.
can make little changes, and of course, every vehicle on the line has a digital twin. We got to see the servers that handle every car, every configuration, every amount of torque on every bolt. So if we find out that a bolt is insufficiently torqued, they could literally issue a recall as narrow as one car.
Wow.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around. And I imagine it's that complexity that makes it so that the tour does not include the Model Y line. I don't think they want people outside the company having a chance to see it. And I will tell you one thing that I appreciated seeing that I don't know why, but I guess I didn't expect it because you hear just how racist and terrible this company is. The tour
Mhm.
starts by going through the offices. You walk through the offices into the production line, and in the office, it is extremely racially diverse because they don't hire who they like, they hire who's the best, and who the
Yeah.
best is everybody. And then you get to production, and it's the same. The racial diversity is off the charts. And it has to be, otherwise, it would be a focus of daily criticism. You watch the bot videos, you watch the engineering videos, you watch the battery videos, and you can see these. Now, maybe those people
Mhm.
were hand selected to paint a particular picture, but I'm telling you from having wandered through millions of square feet, that is the representative picture. So I think that's, you know, for those who care about that sort of thing, that's good. And for those who don't care about that sort of thing, who cares? So
So this circle production line for the Model Y, infinite possibilities. Was this just recent, do you think, or is this something that they've always done for many years?
I think it's something they've always done. uh,
Okay.
Especially with Fremont because it's so hard to reconfigure that space. From the outside, it looks like a bunch of buildings kind of cobbled together, and the illustrations we've seen that draw lines to tell you what's made where uh,
Mhm.
don't paint an accurate picture. Once you're inside, it appears to be just one very large building, and we're talking 5.5 million square feet. The other little nugget he told us is the capacity of the factory. And again, this is a tour guide speaking, so maybe not the most definitive source on the topic. It's 2,500 a day. So that would be about 900,000. So Fremont has more capacity than they're using because there's always going to be some downtime. There's always going to be more that they could eke out of it. But he's saying that 2,500 a day is the capacity of Fremont. Mm. So that's not reflected
Yeah.
in the shareholder
But
deck, but it's very
yeah,
interesting.
Jeff Lutz, who's a manufacturing expert, and he says that factories should not run 100% capacity. It should always run around 80, 85% is
Hmm.
the golden spot.
Hmm. Why is that?
Uh, just because of all things you just said, like
Hmm.
doesn't make that you don't try to shoot for all of it. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So if everything's running at 100 and one dips to 90, now everything is over speed except, yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So in the comments, guys, what did we miss? What do we misunderstand? I can't understand these topics without you. I mean, we're here in the video to make you guys smarter. In the comments, that's where you make us smarter, and we appreciate it. At least I do. I can't speak from a buddy Herbert here. So
Yeah.
everybody else, like, subscribe, smack the buttons, do what you do, and stay tuned, stay juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, perhaps on another Wednesday when we do a live stream at 11 a.m. Pacific. We do that. That's a thing. Come back for it.